Okay, this is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV. We're here with Rich Merhige of AMESolutions. And Rich, first and foremost, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Rich, I think the AMESolutions name is pretty well known in the maritime circles, but why don't you just give an overview of the company today?
Sure, glad to do that. So we're a services company. We do vibration analysis testing.
Mm-hmm.
We do laser alignment services, and we also do a machinery service, and of course we have product sales.
So Rich, we're obviously here in New Orleans at the Workboat Show, and I understand you gave a presentation the other day. Why don't you just give us a little insight of what you were talking about?
I gave everybody a bit of a rundown on the different alignment methods and what their best application would be. And I also talked about some of the technologies that may not some of these guys may not be aware of.
Okay. So what are some of the specific technologies?
One of the things that's very useful in alignment is there's two things. There's laser alignment systems, which are, there's more and more propulsion systems that are more sophisticated, that are high speed, these Z-drive type systems.
Okay.
And those require a precision alignment. They use cardan shafts.
Okay.
And we have found that the laser systems work very well for that. And then we also spoke about strain gauge. And strain gauge is really beneficial in that you do your preliminary alignment if you do it with a tight wire or you do it optics or laser. And then when the boat goes in the water, the shafting is fully assembled. And you can put strain gauges on the shaft, and with the strain gauges, you can measure the micro stresses. And from those, you can convert it to a bending moment to get the bearing reactions, to figure out what the weight is on the bearings.
What's the majority of your business? What are the drivers for your business?
We get involved in both new construction and refit work. So whenever when on new construction, of course, you want your propulsion system to work well. And one of the things that was interesting is that the greatest number of failures of propulsion-related failures are in the OSV and tug markets. Okay. So, what we see there is that, do it properly the first time, and you can really, that doesn't follow then you have a very reliable boat, or if you don't do it right, it follows the boat through its life. Once a boat's delivered from the shipyard, it's very difficult to go back and take the boat out of service and correct the alignment. Okay. So it's really critical that you get somebody who knows what they're doing, do the alignment right and properly the first time.
So again, I'm sure you deal with this on a regular basis because you get to see the problems. Yeah. What's your best advice? How can I, as a vessel owner with a new boat coming in, how can I de-risk that propulsion train?
That's a good question. Well, what I would do is, make sure when you enter the contract with the shipyard, that you put the specifications in there for a proper alignment and a shaft line model that takes into account all the variables that can affect propulsion system. You don't want to get, again, once you build it and she goes on acceptance trials and you take ownership of that boat, it's difficult to go back and deal with propulsion system issues later.
Now, if I'm correct, you just celebrated a relatively significant anniversary. 25 years in business?
We're 26 years. We're actually 26 years.
Okay.
But yeah, it's hard to believe. Time flies when you're having fun.
How has the technology, the technique, or the acceptance of your products and services changed most throughout those 26 years?
Well, I'm switching gears because it's not so much on the alignment side.
Okay.
But what's, everybody's, the phrase, the industrial Internet of Things is really coming into play here.
Okay.
Where you can monitor continuously parameters such as vibration, engine temperatures, pressures, and this all can be sent ashore for the port engineer to actually see on his cell phone if he needed to, so that technology, we're actively involved with that. We represent Proof Technics products. They have a system that is able to export the data through a cellular modem or satellite or shore-based line, and you can really keep an eye on your vessel. And if the guys are driving down the river and they hit a log, you'll know it.
Okay. Okay, so I mean that really gets more to the trend of condition-based monitoring
Correct.
versus time-based monitoring.
Exactly.
And are you finding is that becoming the reality on the street from your perspective?
Well, I would say there's not a lot of new construction activity right now. I mean, there's still a lot of boats that contracts are being finished up on, but what's a big thing for the owner? Where's your biggest potential for saving cost and decreasing downtime and by monitoring these vibrations, the vibration is it's a very powerful indication of what's going on with your machinery. So avoiding downtime and breakdowns and being able to plan. Like if you see something deteriorate, you can plan it so you're not you don't have a broken down vessel that you got to tow into port somewhere.
Rich, it's a busy show. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've been busy. Thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate your time as well. Thank you.
All right. This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV.